are recording. Welcome, Big 12 college football fans. I am Bryce Petty, sitting next to my good friend and esteemed colleague, Trevor Knight.
What is going on, 14? Buddy, I am fired up today.
Why?
I am not going to cut to the chase. I am going to cut to the chase.
Okay, we are going to cut to the chase. Okay. I love it.
I am fired up. We've got a lot to talk about, my friend. I was a part of the greatest sporting event that I have ever been
Gotta love it.
to, that a lot of people have ever been to. Cotton Bowl mayhem, OU Texas, the rivalry. Boy, I know all you guys watched it this weekend. Unbelievable sporting event. And then I'm on cloud nine. My Aggies won later in the evening, knocked off the Tide, but man,
number one Tide.
Let's go, baby.
They haven't lost in like 700 days.
I haven't slept in 3 days,
I
dude.
believe it.
My eyes are all jacked up, but I'm here, baby.
On top of all of that, we have a guest. We have a very, very special guest that I am so excited for. This is actually Trevor's guest, so thank you, Trevor.
Let me put it this way. You guys are going to want to stick around to listen to this guest. He'll be here in just a little while. He is one of the most prominent figures of all time in college football.
Wow. It's a big statement. I wonder who it is.
I'm not going to give any hints yet, but we'll get to it in a minute.
Speaking of Halloween candy.
Let's go.
Hey, let's get right into it. Okay, so we had probably one of the biggest games of maybe the decade. I know that's a strong statement. Maybe the decade. It was an incredible game at the shootout.
So there's debate over that, right?
Okay.
It's the Red River shootout. It's the Red River rivalry. There's been a lot of hoopla around what it actually is. I call it the RRR because I think it's easy.
Triple R's.
I've got a speech impediment, and so Red River rivalry doesn't work well for me. I'm just kidding. I don't have a speech impediment. At least I don't. I hope not.
It's hard when you drink as many beers as you do that quick. Well, let's get right into it. Okay, so we have OU. If you did not watch, you're crazy, one. But just a quick recap, 55-48. And, again, what could have been one of the greatest comebacks ever, led by a true freshman in a time and era right now, especially the last couple of weeks that we've been talking about, especially. Spencer Rattler gets benched. In comes Caleb Williams, and the rest is history. Just walk us through as a fan, being in that environment, that stadium, seeing, again, just kind of a lackluster. They score. Texas scores on the first play of the game, which is incredible. It's just kind of like, oh, God, here we go. And then just kind of walk us through this first half and then into the second half.
Dude, you could write a book on my experience Saturday and what happened in the Cotton Bowl, right? Well, let's take a step back first before we even get into the stadium.
Sorry.
The Texas State Fair is going on.
Yep.
I paid $60 to pull up on a curb and park underneath a telephone pole right next to a gas station. Not a terrible parking spot, but $60. It was absolute mayhem in the parking situation. I did not get a parking pass. I was upset about that. So then you start wading through all the people. I got a couple tickets. I got a corn dog. Obviously, I'm at the fair on my way in.
Pickles?
I did get a pickle.
Nice.
Well, yep, we absolutely did the pickle.
Hashtag
pickle. And we end up kind of wading our way through. Well, it's an hour and a half prior to game time. We're like, hey, let's get in there. Let's watch some warm-ups, right? Oh, no.
Watch warm-ups?
Sea of people.
Already?
Me and my sweet wife, who is pregnant right now, only 16 weeks, so she can hang.
Shout out, Lacey.
We are walking through this, and I say walking. We're shoulder to shoulder, like not moving, right? We get to our seat 30 seconds before the opening kick.
Oh, wow.
It took us an hour and a half to get.
So it was meant to
50
be. It was meant to be before the kickoff started.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
So we get to our seat. We're all fired up. We're in. We're hooping. We're hollering. Kickoff happens. First play. Smoke screen for 75 yards. And of course, everybody in our section, stunned. Well, then we come out, go 3 and out, punt blocked right there on the 3 or 4 yard line. They score again. It's a minute and 53 seconds into the football game, and it is 14-0. Everybody in our section, myself included, is saying things like, we didn't come ready to play. One of these teams wants it more. One of them's hungry. One of them's not. Obviously talking about OU being the one that doesn't want it and Texas being the one that wants it. Then the game unfolds. Spencer Rattler makes some good plays. Casey Thompson, shout out to you, my friend. You have solidified yourself as the starting quarterback in Austin, Texas.
Yes, hell of a game.
I know it was a loss, but my friend, 5 touchdowns, and we'll get into his stats in a little bit. You are an absolute ball player, my friend. Very, very cool. So you start to have these ebbs and flows. You got a bad interception by Spencer Rattler. Then you've got a sack fumble by Spencer Rattler. Boom, inserts freshman Caleb Williams. Dude, I thought he got walked a little bit. I wouldn't have got walked, but he got hit.
Walked.
He got hit at the goal line. It looked like he had a little bit of a carriage behind him. I'm being very
real
is horrible of me to say.
So if you guys don't know, it before Spencer Rattler had the fumble and Caleb Williams came in, as what will be the first chapter in his book in Norman, a 4th and a foot at the 34-yard line, dude comes in and takes it 66. Okay, just real quick, just so everybody understands, the 30 minutes that he's talking about getting into the stands and watching the players warm up, that's 30 minutes before kickoff. So my man Caleb Williams is warming up for 30 minutes, got his bands, he's high-kneeing, he's doing whatever, trying to break a sweat, and then the dude sits and does nothing except for just walk up and down the sideline. So, I mean, hell of a run. Walked my ass.
We could talk
it was
about
so impressive.
Dude, we could talk about this longer. I was just making a little comment. He scored. I never would have got walked.
I would have been.
I could have been sitting in. That's my only negative comment on the kid all day.
Will you explain to the fans here what getting walked means?
Okay, so he scored, so he really didn't get walked, but he looked at the end like he was struggling a little bit and got hit from behind and had to dive in. Made it look cool. I would have.
What's your longest touchdown run you've ever had?
I think 65. So I haven't.
What was his?
I think it was like 63.
Fact check. It was 66.
Oh, okay, so you got me. And he did score, but I pulled away from those suckers. Anyways, that was my only negative comment on him all day. He found a way to make plays.
Yeah.
Marvin Mims, Dallas-based guy. Congratulations on your 2 touchdowns. It's a long time coming. You're a staple and just a solid piece to that puzzle there from a leadership standpoint.
He scored all year.
Yeah, and had 2 huge ones, right?
Crazy.
But you see this game start to go back and forth and back and forth. Casey Thompson and Bijan Robinson and that group just kept coming. At the end of the day, the tides turned. From the beginning, we were all saying, hey, OU didn't come ready to play. Texas is hungry. It completely flipped around when number 13 got in there. OU, you were more hungry. You beat Texas in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and that was the difference in the day. Shout out Kennedy Brooks for establishing the run game all day long. But I'll say this, too. You put 13 in there, and you have an opportunity for your quarterback to be a real threat in the run game. It opens everything up. It was a thing of beauty. Do I love it moving forward? Do I think he's going to go and be Heisman candidate and play perfect like that every week? No, we'll get to that. I think he'll still take his freshman lumps, but he is absolutely the man for the job. So, Bryce, let me ask you this. I was at the game. Obviously, we talked about that. Give me your total thoughts on everything that happened in the Cotton Bowl on Saturday. I mean, start to finish. Lay it all out there for me, man.
Yeah, well, this is super interesting, right? And it's specifically talking about the QB position that we've been talking about for a few weeks now. I just felt like from the couch, you knew it was going to happen at some point. We had again Texas scoring on the first play. You've got a 3-and-out. You've got a punt block. It's 14-0 real quick. You have a pick. All of a sudden, you're down 28-7. It's 4th and 1 on your own 34, and in comes this big package where Caleb Williams, everybody knows it's going to be a QB run with what could be punting to a really, really hot UT offense and Casey Thompson and this guy Xavier Worthy, which, oh my God. But at that time, Caleb Williams comes in fresh off the sideline, which real quick, just so everybody knows out there, 30 minutes, you had alluded to that a little bit before that you guys went into to watch the warm-ups. These guys are warming up, getting a little bit of sweat on, and then all of a sudden they just nothing. They just sit on the sideline, do nothing. They get cold, they get tight. You were talking about walking somebody, whatever. This guy comes in and on 4th and 1 takes it 66 yards, sparks the entire sideline. The guy's smiling while he does it, just a completely different aroma in terms of his persona, what he exudes as a quarterback, as a player. I always like watching guys, and especially, really how they respond to, the quarterback position, how guys lead other people. Man, when you see that guy come off the sidelines, it was hooping, it was hollering, it was great to see. So, and then 2 possessions later, Spencer has the fumble, and now it's the rest of I don't want to say the rest is history. We don't know yet, but I do think that Caleb Williams has presented a very, very tough predicament for Lincoln Riley and that staff to put together.
Huge decision for him, right?
Right, it has to be.
It's your all-world guy. It's your dude, and I don't know if it's Lincoln Riley having balls or if it was Caleb Williams really showing out in practice, but whatever it was gave not only Lincoln but that whole staff enough confidence to say, hey, it's time to give the ball to number 13, and we're going to ride with him the rest of this football game. Yeah. Now, it was really cool because of the way that they probably went through practice, right? Spencer got most of the reps because he was a starter. Come in cold. Obviously, probably his spirits are down from getting benched, and come in on a very, very important 2-point conversion and throw a dart to Drake Stoops there and get that, right? So
must have a big play.
Really cool. I'm interested to see, what the next move is. I think we're all kind of sitting on the edge of our seat wondering, what happens next.
Well, especially in that stadium too, right? Just because you're hosting TCU. This isn't like an away game.
Yep.
Fans are going to they're already probably buying 13 jerseys. The number 13, not just 13 jerseys, but number 13 jerseys. So if you walk out of there and 7 leads the huddle out there, it's going to be interesting.
What's going to be the reaction,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
It's like this old dude named TREVOR Knight who gets hurt in the first half against Oklahoma State. Blake Bell comes in and throws a game-winning touchdown pass to beat your in-state rival.
Bedlam, yeah.
Well, who's coming out against the Crimson Tide in the Sugar Bowl? Shouldn't it be Blake Bell? He's through the game-winning touchdown pass. Played great. I think TREVOR Knight was passing for like 30% that morning.
It's a little
before he got hurt.
Different situation, and I think we all know what happened in the Alabama game.
Yeah, obviously, but very different situation, but also kind of the same, right? Everybody's excited to see the movement moving forward. Now, I will say this, and you probably will back me up here, from a guy that has played this position, it will be if they decide to go with Caleb Williams, it won't be all rainbows and butterflies and anything.
No, it's not.
He is a freshman. He's going to make freshman mistakes. He has unbelievable talent, but it's not going to be like, oh, we're going to ride off into the sunset, right? I mean, it is still week in and week out. We got to coach this guy up to play at the level that we want him to be at, right?
I agree, and this is what's interesting, right? So there was 11 carries in the first half. Just take that for what it is. There was 11 carries in the first half. There were 21 carries in the second half. That's interesting to me.
Speaking of halves, I'm just going to make this, and I want to hear the rest of your thoughts. But
no, you don't.
Yeah, I do. First half, Oklahoma 20 points, Texas 38 points.
Mm-hmm.
Second half, Oklahoma 35 points, Texas 10 points. I mean,
on 9 drives.
Completely different. So let me hear your thoughts again.
9 drives. No, it's great. And I love that because, again, when you look at what he put together, there was only 2 punts out of 9 drives. That is moving the football.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of those off-platform throws where he's like, you can call it, just throwing it up, being a freshman, but at the same time, you're giving your guys a chance to make a play.
No doubt.
And it's just a different world. So, real quick, I don't know. I don't want to. There's a special guest that we have that I'd love to continue talking about this. Just real quick, because it's a Big 12 podcast. West Virginia, Baylor, 45-20. This is not to take anything away from the guys down in Waco, because what they did was just absolutely throttle what was a pretty damn good West Virginia team that beat, even Virginia Tech coming in. TCU at Texas Tech. TCU slapped them around 52-31, put up damn near 400 yards on the ground. Sorry, Garrett.